Gun Sports Radio is sponsored by Love Radio Network. Welcome to Gun Sports Radio, all about shooting, hunting, self-defense, and more. Now, here are the hosts of Gun Sports Radio, Dave Stahl and Lance Pelkey.
All right, boy, the action is hot and heavy right here at Gun Sports Radio.
Amen.
Right here, AM 1170. We got Mr. Holyfield, commonly known as Hollywood. We got Michael Schwartz and Lance.
Here we are, baby.
The man, Pelkey, right here.
Myth, the legend.
That's right.
Look at
Gun
Mike
Sports
Shrinkin.
Radio, show 57. Today, we are happy to have Gun Range San Diego as our sponsor. He's been with us since day one. Can't thank him enough. That location's open 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week, 7853 Balboa Avenue. Just go to Gun Range San Diego for everything you ever wanted to know about the gun range industry. They'll teach you to shoot. They can clean your guns, give you screaming deals on accessories, ammo, and guns as well. Stellar training. I mean, I'm telling you, they got some of the greatest trainers in San Diego County right there at Gun Range San Diego. And as I like to call it, it's the Nordstrom's mentality without the price. They are very, very reasonably priced. I know I keep telling everybody
It's a champagne
Nordstrom's.
attitude with a beer budget.
Well, it's a champagne attitude with Joe Holyfield's budget, which is water. And it has to be just regular water.
Tap water.
It can't even be distilled. It's
That's
got to
right.
be tap water. But no, folks, seriously, if you really want to have a good experience, and you should take the whole family. I can't overemphasize how much importance there is. And when you get the whole family on the same page, then you guys are pretty much indestructible. The kids know how to take care of themselves. You know how to take care of yourself, and you all take care of yourself.
And for the record, we're open tomorrow, 10 a.m., 10 p.m., regular hours.
Right.
I've fielded that call about 14 times today.
That's right. And Joe will be there 10 to 10. So you go down
I'm there all
there.
the time.
He'll be slightly bent till about 11:30, but once he stands up, he'll be good to go. Hey, we got a special guest on the line, I say, Mr. Schwartz.
Yes, we do. We have his name's Brian Jones. I met him years ago, about over a decade ago, he was a Santee City councilman, and then he ran for the assembly and represented gun owners extremely well up in Sacramento, and now he's back on the Santee City Council, and he has a nice, big, very cool announcement about his future today here on the show. Brian, are you there?
I am here. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Wait a minute. We're putting on another co-host? No one told me we're putting on another co-host. Is that the news, Brian?
It sounds like you guys are having more fun than you should be allowed to have on a Sunday afternoon.
Hey, it is Sunday afternoon. So how are you doing, sir? And what's the great news? I can't wait to hear it.
Well, two announcements. A smaller announcement first is I've just become a believer in climate change because it was 110 and sunny yesterday in Santee, and now today it's 80 and raining. So obviously the climate changed.
Overnight. The climate changed overnight.
Yeah.
Overnight, so I'm a believer.
And I'm right there with you, my friend. I'm right there with you.
Save us, Al Gore.
And I appreciate you guys having me on today, is that I have I've announced and working on running for state senate. Senator Joel Anderson is termed out of the state senate for the 38th Senate District, and I am running to replace him.
Hey, nice, awesome, very
Fantastic.
That's great. Nice to see
I was
that
really,
going to somebody we like.
I was really hoping that you were going to jump into that slot because, we all get nervous when those slots become open and who's going to get in there and who isn't. But I am so thrilled to see you in that position because I know you'll do as good a job, if not better, than Joel. And Joel was a great guy.
Joel was awesome.
So, yeah, there's some big shoes to fill there, but I'll see what I can do, and I'll do my best.
Now, are you just a glutton for punishment? Is that why you want to go back up to Sacramento, or what's your reason for running?
I think I need to have my head examined or something like that. I love banging my head against the brick wall, so to speak. But if you bang your head enough in the same point, eventually it will break down. So I need 8 more years up there to get some positive stuff done.
Well, let me ask you this, Brian, because I don't think I have the patience to be able to do what you're getting ready to do, and that's go into Sacramento and deal with that craziness up there. But how do you stay grounded? I mean, how do you keep focused, with everything else around you?
A couple of things. First of all, my faith. God and Christ are a big part of my life, so That's number one. Second, my family. My wife is very strong, and my kids are very grounded as well. I've got 3 adult children, 18, 20, and 22, and they're all in college and working and doing their things. So that helps. And then the third thing is that if you just concentrate on the founding documents of our country, our Constitution, our Declaration of Independence, and the dreams and vision of our founding fathers, and stay focused on that, it actually isn't too difficult to stay grounded up there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. How many times do you hear a candidate, an elected official in California say what he just said?
Hardly ever.
I don't think I've actually heard one.
It's a breath of fresh air.
Here, sincerely.
Well, and that's what we need, and I think and Michael Schwartz was really and Lance too, kind of made it a point that we were going to look for politicians at this level and back you guys 100% as far as you want to go. And we are very proud to be able to say that we've been behind you since this show started.
Yep.
And it's always
Absolutely.
and it's always been a joy. And having you on KUSI is always a blast too. We love having you down there. So whatever we can do, you don't need to wait for us to call you. You don't have you can call us, especially when you got help. You need help with the San Diego County gun owners. Man, Michael's group is just growing like crazy.
Well, Brian's a founding board member of San Diego County Gun Owners.
Does he have a different pin than Lance?
That's right. Yeah.
I wonder if he does.
That is
I wonder if he does.
a point of contention.
Special handshake?
You had to bring that up.
He has another special handshake I don't have.
Well, I couldn't help myself. I just had to ask.
That's good.
So,
Hey, Brian. Sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
No, go ahead.
Well, Hollywood here, and I work at a gun store every day. I train people and things like that. And today we had a couple of guys coming in. They were complaining about some of the gun laws, especially the ones that Governor Brown, put through last year in the dark of night. And
right.
And so him and his buddy were talking. They're like, "Well, why aren't we protesting?" And then the guy goes, "Well, because we got jobs. We're not teenagers living in our mom's basement. Who, we got jobs. We got families to feed, that kind of thing." And so the other guy goes, what? Well, what do we do? So I ran over with 2 San Diego County gun owner pamphlets, and because you hear our voice, and that's why San Diego County gun owners backs you so well. And you being a founding member is I don't have to go stand on the court steps. I don't have to go, yell at the moon, because I have representatives like you who have my best interest at heart.
Right, and I think what's important for your listeners to know, because it gets discouraging, and people want to give up. We can't give up. If you think back to the time that Winston Churchill was leading England against the Nazi invasion from Germany, one of his famous lines is "Never, never, never, ever, 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 never give up." And that's just the attitude that we have to have here in California. The good news is we're not being air bombed every night, and currently the debate is ideological, and the debate is words. And I think long term we're going to win that debate. The Constitution is on our side, truth is on our side, and eventually we will win. And where I was going with this is for your listeners' edification, that there's a cadre of legislators up there. It's hard to know that, but there's a group of legislators, both in the Assembly and in the Senate, that think and agree with me on the founding of the country and where we get our ground line, our baseline from. And we'll continue to fight, and we'll continue to hang in there together and make sure that we're protecting the Constitution and fighting for it.
Well, Brian, you've got 100 of our percent, no doubt about it. Anything you need, all you have to do is ask, and it's always a joy having you on. And congratulations, and I look forward to you moving up the road a little.
What's your website? Where do people go to donate to your campaign?
Absolutely.
electbrianjones.com.
That's easy.
Thanks for asking, because I would have forgotten to say that. So.
Well, that's our job.
I appreciate you having my back.
We got your back, brother. No problem whatsoever. All right, Brian, thank you very, very much, and congratulations.
Yeah.
Thrilled to death that you're going to be taking Joel's place. We already know that's going to happen. There's no doubt.
What a breath of
Hey,
fresh
guys,
air.
I just want to thank you for everything that you all do. I know that you're every Sunday afternoon you're on the radio. You're taking time away from your families to do this, and I don't think you're getting rich on Sunday afternoons doing a radio show. So
No.
I think it costs us more than we're making, I'm sure.
All right. Hey, Brian.
The sacrifice you guys are making, and keep up the good work.
Our pleasure. All right. And that website one more time?
electbrianjones.com.
How difficult can that be? Folks, first go join San Diego County gun owners, then go join Brian Jones. It's a good team.
Thank you.
There you go.
All right.
He's the real deal, man. When
Absolutely.
it comes to the Second Amendment and
Real
a lot of
deal.
other issues, he's the real deal.
All right. We're going to take a small break, folks. Hope you enjoyed that segment, but there's a whole lot more right here on Gun Sports Radio, AM 1170, The Answer. Hey, welcome back, Gun Sports Radio, 1170, The Answer. I'm Dave.
I'm Lance.
And we're having too much fun. This segment is brought to you by the good folks at Trident Gunsmithing. And if you've not been to Trident Gunsmithing, you're totally missing out. He gave me a flyer, too, and I was supposed to look at it. And
Good job. Good job, Dave.
Frickin'
That's why we
flyers.
can't have nice things.
I know. TridentGunsmithing.com. But if you go there, you'll see everything I missed.
That's right.
So just check out their website, 858-577-0576.
And they have 4 of my guns.
And almost all you.
No, they don't. But they have 4.
I just sent a father and a son today. A guy brought his son into gun range San Diego, maybe about 9 years old. And we set him up with the Cricket little bolt action gun.
Oh, cool.
And so the dad was asking about training and that kind of thing. And I told him, I said, we do training, family training, all that stuff. But if you want a great hunter's course, go over to Trident Gunsmith.
Perfect. Hey, we got Dylan on the line. Mr. D.
Going, guys?
Oh, there he is.
There he is. Da-da-da.
He's got us on Bluetooth into Tesla.
Yeah, I know. He's in. Are you in that Tesla again?
I do not own a Tesla. I don't know what you're talking
Get
about.
back in that. Hey, I didn't bring it up this time, but
Am I responsible for the actions of family members?
it looks like it.
So you just rent it by the week? Is that what you're saying?
No, he just doesn't. No, he just
I'm
doesn't.
trying to look all
Yeah.
classy by renting one.
We
Yeah,
got-
it's
well,
bougie. We call that bougie.
and either grow a beard or shave. Okay, either grow a beard or shave.
All right,
Get with
sounds
the-
good.
So, all right. So the thing of it is, he borrowed it from his dad. He just won't bring it back. It's one of those
I
guys.
took it for a joyride.
Yeah,
that's all.
and he just hasn't brought it back. All right. So I just got an eerie feeling you got good news today.
You know what? I actually do have a little bit of good news. It is amazing. Previously, we talked about one of the new gun restrictions that our wonderful representatives up north were trying to push through was the one firearm per 30-day rule. Basically, it would restrict people from buying more than one gun per month. That language of the bill has been removed, and that's no longer a threat at this time. So there's a little victory there that's gone.
That's really great.
How did that happen? How did that? I mean, I never hear anything go backwards up there. I always hear it going forward.
Well, I'll tell you, the organization Firearms Policy Coalition, they do a lot of work up there in fighting for gun owners' rights, and I know they opposed that bill specifically with a lot of opposition. And I'd have to give them at least a good portion of the credit there. They work hard to make sure that these proposed laws don't go through, and they do a pretty good job of it, considering the number of laws our representatives try to pass.
Firearms Policy Coalition is really great. We've actually had them on the show a couple months ago, Brandon Combs from Firearms Policy Coalition. They really do a fantastic job up there.
Yeah.
And they stay up to date, and they really pay attention constantly to see if any little law is getting proposed that would infringe on the California Second Amendment rights. So that's good news for the day. And I had a good question that's come in before. I've had it a number of times, and I was trying to pick a good day to bring it up. But considering that we've talked about CCW permits in San Diego a lot recently. I thought it'd be a good time. So I'm not going to name the person on this because I've gotten this question a lot.
Sure.
But it says, if I carry a firearm without a concealed carry permit, meaning illegally, what consequences am I looking at if I ever get caught or have to use my gun in self-defense? Now, right off the bat, I never will encourage anyone to break the law in any way, and you shouldn't do it. But, there is a common mentality that I'm sure people, and you guys have all heard, where people say it's better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
Correct.
Meaning, a lot of people use that when like, oh, I'm going to break the law, and if it saves my life, I don't care if I go to jail. And if you want to choose to do that, that's your prerogative. Again, can't recommend you break the law. But my thinking, whenever I hear that, and whenever I have people ask me that question or, kind of talk about that topic, I always tell them you really have to consider what the actual consequences are if you were to choose to do that. A lot of people think, simple misdemeanor if I get caught with a concealed handgun. Well, that's possible. That could be the only charge that's placed on you, but it's also very easy for that to be a much more complex situation that involves a lot more charges than just a simple misdemeanor. And to give you a quick example, the misdemeanor of illegally carrying a handgun, that's a misdemeanor. But then if the gun is also loaded, or let's say it's not a registered handgun, so meaning you either bought it before they started registering handguns in California, or you moved here and you didn't register your handgun when you moved here, then you have an unlawful possession of a handgun, the carrying of a loaded handgun, and the carrying of a concealed handgun. So that's 3 different misdemeanors, all by carrying one gun.
They throw the book at you. You get caught.
Yeah,
and
again, if you've ever had any previous firearms charges or crimes, it can change what they call a wobbler, where something could be a misdemeanor or a felony. The judge could say, nope, in this case with you, considering the circumstances, it's a felony.
Well, even a misdemeanor. So you're saying if you decide, hey, I don't have a CCW, but I want to carry a gun concealed, and even if it's legally owned and legally bought and everything, you're carrying it loaded and concealed without a permit, you will get charged for a misdemeanor. But that still has
2 misdemeanors, actually.
2 misdemeanors. That is serious consequences. What'll actually happen to your gun rights, and what happens to you if you get charged with a weapon, some kind of concealed carry weapons charge that's just a misdemeanor?
Yeah, there's a number of misdemeanors in California that they come with a 5-year prohibition on possessing firearms, and you have to give up your firearms. If you end up getting a wobbler that they consider a felony, that's a life ban when it comes to possessing firearms. And that's these consequences you got to think about. There's jail time, prison time that you could go to jail for a long time, even off a misdemeanor.
What if you just have licenses? And you, unless you want to work in a car wash again for the rest of your life, which, car wash people are great people, don't get me wrong.
Pilot's license. Or,
anything else, employment.
Yeah, your employment is dramatically
curtailed.
The future employment is dramatically changed if you have a criminal history. You could lose your gun rights. You lose the ability to be able to legally defend yourself in the future. So if you don't have the right to own or possess firearms, even if someone breaks into your house in the dead of night, and it's a perfect, legitimately legal self-defense situation, you don't have the right to defend yourself with a gun anymore because you decided it was better to carry around your gun without a permit because, a good example, in San Diego, it's really hard to get a CCW. If you made that choice and then got caught, that's going to have drastic consequences.
Well, and what about the monetary side of it? Because I've never yet seen anybody get fined where there wasn't a money attached to it. So
exactly. And, if you're defending a misdemeanor charge, you got to hire a lawyer for that. You don't get representing yourself isn't going to really work. And
so you're talking
relying on a public defender may not be the best bet. You're going to have to pay to have someone spend a lot of time to work on your defense. Yeah.
I've heard lawyers are pretty expensive.
Yep. But I know one.
Definitely.
I know one in Carlsbad that's selling his Tesla, and he's changing his rate structure so that he can be more kind to the people. Oh, my goodness.
Well, let me ask you, John.
Well, I do offer discounted rates when it comes to firearms charges, specifically because I want to help people in California that get in trouble based off these technical laws.
Yeah. So all joking aside, don't feel like you financially can't afford to chat with John because, one, John will talk to you for free. That starts with it. And he's as compassionate as we are. We give him a hard time because he's not here. See, he won't drive into the studio, so we have to give him a lot of static. But if he ever comes in, then we got to find somebody else to beat on. But no, in all seriousness,
we love him. John
is extremely compassionate about what he does, folks. And
that's why he's here.
If you do need his help, all you have to do is go to www.cafirearmslaw.com, cafirearmslaw.com, or dial 760-431-9501. Or if you're standing next to Hollywood, he's got him speed dial #1. So either way, you can get help. What else you got, son?
Alrighty, guys. And hey, and if you're upset that you can't get a CCW in San Diego County and you want things to change, I seriously consider joining San Diego County gun owners. They are doing a massive amount of work in changing the ability to be able to get a CCW.
He says they, but man, John's been a huge part of that. He's so helpful.
It's a team effort.
Yeah, it's a huge hands-on pro bono work for San Diego County gun owners. He absolutely deserves your support.
John.
Hey, let me ask you one question. So we were talking about CCWs and carrying. You know, a lot of people kind of have this mentality maybe that, well, you know, I'm never going to break the law, so if I'm carrying concealed without a permit, you know, they're never going to be able to catch me. You know, what are some ways? What would you say to someone?
Oh man, I'll tell you, there's any number of ways that can go wrong. You know, if you're stopped at a traffic stop. I mean, we've all seen YouTube videos where a simple traffic stop turns into this big ordeal where the person is put in handcuffs, you know, the car is searched over nothing, over, you know, back-talking or being disrespectful. You know, if the police officer may be having a bad day, maybe they got an APB on a stolen car that matches your car, and so they're going to pull you out of the car and investigate, see if it is a stolen car. You know, there's any number of reasons or ways that, you know, just because you're not actually breaking law doesn't mean that you are not going to be subject to a search in some way through an investigation. So relying on that, it's a thin protection. There's a million different ways that can go wrong.
Yeah, medical emergencies. I heard a story about a guy who walked around the corner and hit his head on the corner of a staircase as he was outside of a building and was knocked out cold. And the ambulance was kind of nervous because they found he had a CCW, but they were nervous because they found a concealed weapon on the guy while he was knocked out, and they were loading him into the ambulance. But there are a number of ways that something unintentional happen. So it's not like, well, gee, I don't break the law, so I'll never get arrested.
Boy,
I mean, if you're running across the street to make the crosswalk type thing, if you have a bad holster, your gun could fly out and land on the ground, and then a cop sees that. I mean,
hate that.
Like I said, there's a million ways that can go wrong. To rely on that is a mistake.
Happens to Lance all the time.
Hate that.
You got to quit running. All right, John, thanks you very much. John's from Gatsky, Dillon, and Balance, LLP. For folks, if you need any help at all, cafirearmslaw.com, cafirearmslaw.com, or 760-431-9501. Just ask for John Dillon. Thanks, buddy. Hey, enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend, and we'll see you down the road.
See you, buddy.
Thanks, John.
All right, folks, we're going to take a small break. Hey, if you want to listen to us, AM 1170, The Answer is the app. Go to our website, www.kcbqtheanswer.com, or on Facebook.com/Gunsportsradio/ like us. We'll see you in a few.
AM 1170, The Answer, KCBQ.
All right, folks, hey, welcome back. Gun Sports Radio, Show 57. I'm Dave, he's Lance, and we are having ourselves a blast today. In fact, this segment is brought to you by Gun Range San Diego, 7853 Balboa Avenue in San Diego. 10 to 10, 7 days a week. GunRangeSanDiego.com, GunRangeSanDiego.com. You got to go out down there. Check this place out. If you've never shot a gun, never handled a gun, and you want some help, the Gun Range San Diego is where you need to be. They are the Nordstroms of gun ranges. They're just not that expensive. We got Joe Holyfield in the house, commonly known as Hollywood. What's kicking, bud?
Not a whole lot, just enjoying the long
Maybe
weekend.
Not a whole lot. Just busy as a one-legged man in a
I'm always busy.
contest.
Always. But, I can't complain but so often before you guys tune me out.
Yeah, your weekend just got whacked because you're working tomorrow.
I know. Thanks for that. I appreciate it.
Got you to help. Hey, I called Veronica, and she said, no problem. We can't put him to work.
Hey, how cool is it that they've been sponsors from day one?
I know.
I think are they the only people that have been sponsors from day one?
Actually, they're the first one.
That's amazing. You folks that are listening.
Dylan, I think Dylan
was shortly after that.
Shortly after.
Trident was shortly after Dylan.
But folks that are listening, man, support those who are supporting you. These guys are, Gun Range San Diego is stepping up and supporting this show, and that's so great. What an honor.
Yeah, we were talking with some. We had Guns and Moses this morning.
Nice.
Which I always love it when we get these kind of groups that come in, and what they do is they rent out the range from 7 in the morning until 9:45. Because
you've been up early.
Oh yes, sir, I have, because I have to get there at 6 and get the range prepped. But I love it because.
Do we ask what time you went to bed last night? No.
Or if.
I'd have to call her and ask. But I love it when they come in because they get the range to themselves. They just buy the whole place out. And so they come and go as they want on the range. They go into whatever lane they want. We still have our range safety officers out there to help them if they need it and make sure everybody's doing everything safely. But basically, they just have free reign. And they have a great time. And so we had Guns and Moses out there this morning. And Gina was there from San Diego County Gun Owners.
Gina Roberts.
And Gina Roberts. And she's also with the Log Cabin Republican.
And Gina right now just texted me and said that she's heading up to Frontside.
Frontside, yeah. She told
for
me
her master defensive. Yeah. So hi, Gina.
So she's going to be 2 days at
Frontside again.
Yeah. And then she's going to stop back by and talk with a female representative who's from Bakersfield, but she's in the Senate as well.
Don't you hate that when you get old?
They say the memory's the second thing to go.
And we can't remember what the person is.
For a man.
So she was there, but really, really enjoyed having Guns and Moses there this weekend. And we like it every time we get any group like that. We do Guns and Moses, we do Crosshairs. We do the
Crosshairs. I got to remember that.
Yeah, Crosshairs. They're fun.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
You guys did ATF night a couple of weeks ago.
We did ATF night a couple of weeks ago.
That was for a group.
Bagels and Bullets.
We did Bagels and Bullets. We do
Guns and Moses.
we do the Pistol Shooting Association.
Well-armed women.
Yeah.
Pink ladies.
We got the pink ladies that show up every now and then.
Well-armed women.
So how does somebody? Okay, so if I didn't know nothing about it, but I got a group of people and I'd like to do what Guns and Moses did. How do you go about renting the range?
It's really easy. You the easiest way to do it is through email, and it's range@gunrangesd.com.
Okay.
And you just let them know how many people you want, and that's whether you want to do it on a monthly basis like some of these other groups, or if you just want to do it one time, a bachelor party during our normal working hours.
You get a better rate if you do it on a regular basis, you think?
For sure, yeah. If it's something you're going to do monthly, I mean, we try to work with you.
Cut you a little deal.
Yeah, try to cut you a deal.
And what do you get with that? I know you get the safety trainers. The range.
You get use of the range. You get the safety trainers. You get free rentals. So if anything in our rental fleet that you want to rent, you get that for free. Basically, all you have to pay for out of pocket
is the range
on that
rental.
is bullets and targets.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's it. That's it.
Oh.
So we had guys come in this morning, and they shot for 2.5, 3 hours, shot 2 or 3 different guns, and all they paid for was their ammo.
Wow. Can you bring your own targets?
You can bring your own targets.
We need a
Or you can do like I do. You don't even shoot target. I bring Post-it notes.
Those are little.
Well,
you can hit a post-it note.
That's
all I
small,
need.
miss small.
You can hit a post-it note.
That's great.
Can you hit a post-it note?
Post-it notes.
How far away is that post-it note?
Deep around.
I wouldn't even be able to see it if it was more than 10 feet away.
Size is relative.
Size matters. Come on. You ever shoot a post-it?
No, what I do is I turn the target over and then I write my own. I make my own little targets like that. So it's kind of similar, but
Right.
Interesting.
I don't know why. Bill DC does that.
Interesting.
Jesse does that.
What about you, Mikey? You just shoot that
I've never been attacked by a post-it note.
But you'd be ready
But
for
you've
it
been
if you
attacked
were,
by
huh?
a target.
Yeah, coming right at us.
Hey, tell you what, Zombie Industries has got a target that'll attack you. Let me tell you, and bleed all over you to boot.
He's got some great stuff.
I'm going to bring that with me if I ever go to the range. He's on the wall. He's
I don't
want
to have to mop that up later.
Is that stuff nasty?
I don't know if it's nasty or not, but I definitely don't want to have to mop it up later.
Well, the blood, it's actually detergent. It's like detergent.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
it's icky detergent.
Yeah, but it's like comes right off in the wash.
Oh, awesome.
Paintball.
Okay. So, any specials going on down there this week?
Yeah, we still got our Taurus M85 38 specials are on sale for $239. They're normally $360. We got them on sale for $239, and Taurus is doing a $40 mail-in rebate, so you get the gun for $199.
Wow,
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah,
And that's in the rental fleet? Is that in the rental fleet?
That is not in the rental. fleet.
Okay.
Yeah, we debated on putting one in the rental fleet.
Yeah.
But we got such a good deal on
Yeah.
to have this sale. We wanted to make sure that everybody that wanted one could buy one.
And that has a nice handle on it too.
Yeah, it's got a really nice, not sticky, but contoured rubber grip. Yeah, it's easy to hold on to for a small gun. It works really well.
Yeah.
Now, the Glock Gen 5 just came out.
Yes, it did.
Are you getting a lot of interest in those?
Getting a ton of interest in that. Unfortunately, thanks to the gun roster, it breaks my heart to explain it to people almost on a daily basis, because people come in and they want the SIG 320. They want the Glock Gen 5. They want all these new guns that are coming out because, just like a car or anything else, as technology gets better, so does the products that are affected by that technology. So here we got the Gen 5 Glocks that are out, and people are excited about it. And I'm sorry, and it'll never be on the roster until they get rid of the California roster. Until the roster's gone, you'll never be able to buy in California because of microstamping.
We were having a good time until you brought that up.
I thought John was the only one that brought bad news.
Now it's Joe.
That's Joe. Well, that's why I was talking to the guys at Guns N' Moses this morning just over that particular point, that the only way to battle that is to be part of a bigger voice, a bigger name, And the Gun Range San Diego has always been a big supporter of San Diego County gun owners, and it gives Mike a lot more power, a lot more juice behind his words when he goes to Sheriff Gore or to the state assembly or whatever, and says, "I represent X amount of businesses, which represents X amount of tax dollars.
Yes.
And then I represent X amount of people, which represents X amount of constituent voters."
Yes.
And so with those kind of, if you don't have that weight behind you, me going up there and protesting, I look like a gun nut. But when Mike goes up, he is, he's part of a group that is well organized and has a real voice. And that's why it's really important.
It is, but it's also, even for people that maybe don't care about the Second Amendment or just don't care about gun issues in general. I mean, this is much more than that. I mean,
absolutely.
If you have customers that are coming in, they can buy a product that they can, 49 other states sell, but in our state you can't sell it.
That's
and
terrible.
It's how much do you think that affects business?
A lot. I mean, just since it was announced, I probably could have sold, 15. People come in, I want to buy. I mean, a guy came in yesterday, and I'm not kidding. He came in with his credit union envelope with cash and says, "I want to." He goes, "You probably don't have it yet because you're so new." He goes, "But I'll pay for it up front if you'll order it. I want a Glock 5 or Gen 5 Glock." And I'm like, "Great, let me see your law enforcement credentials." And he's like, "Well, I'm not law enforcement."
Was he military?
No, he was just
local guy.
Local guy.
Because the military guys, can't they buy out?
Nope.
They have to buy in California too.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, like a military, when I was in the military, with the Virginia ID, if I went back to Virginia, I could buy a gun in Virginia.
My point is someone could say, well, I'll just wait till, I go back to Virginia, I'll just buy it there.
Right, yeah.
Which is terrible.
Right.
We lose the sale.
Exactly, and we lose the sale.
Terrible. All the way around. We lose the sale,
the taxes, the tax.
And the registration fee.
And the gross fee and all that stuff,
right.
And
tripping over $100 bills to pick up a nickel.
Exactly.
So when did the Gen 4s come out? Do you remember the date?
Oh, my goodness, I don't know.
It's been about 10 years?
At least
10 years?
No. You think it's been?
Let's just say it's 10 years.
Okay.
So it's somewhere around there. Maybe it was 8, maybe it was 12, but let's just say it's about 10 years. So they can buy, the only gun you can buy, the model is at least 10 years old. Imagine if you did that with cars. Imagine if you went in and said, hey, I want a brand new Toyota, I want a brand new Ford, and they said, well, all we have are 2005s.
Right.
anything
up to 2005. I mean, people would go through the roof. What?
And even though it's still 0 miles, but it's 2005 technology.
And a car is a privilege, and a gun rights, is a right.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no amendment that protects you against for purchasing a vehicle, but there is for owning a firearm.
So when you're talking to folks, and maybe the Second Amendment doesn't resonate with them, and I'm talking to the people that are listening, let them know that these bans on CCWs and the bans on pistols and the bans on certain types of rifles, that translates into a ban on profits.
Absolutely.
So they can't sell this stuff.
Yeah, Don't we see a trend building here to where there's a lot of control coming in? They're going to ban this.
Well, gun control's always been about the control,
but they're trying to put you down into a funnel, so to speak, to where they can totally control you, and that can't happen.
Right. Well, John Dillon, his good news was superfluous. Well, no, because in California, the one gun a month has always pertained to handguns, and they were trying to extend that to long guns.
Right.
So, if you wanted a new hunting rifle, if you wanted to buy a hunting rifle and for deer and then one for ducks,
right,
you'd have to separate it about 30 days, which they don't do that right now.
Right.
So even with the one handgun a month, there are a lot of restrictions on profit and profitability for gun store owners and those kind of things.
Crazy.
And which turns into having employees, providing health insurance and that kind of thing. So all these people right here say, I don't believe in guns, and I think all these gun places ought to go out of business. Well, where do you think all those people, Gun Range San Diego is a family business, it's a family-owned business, but it employs about 18 to 22 people, depending on what time of year it is.
And that's not cheap either.
Right, exactly. So that's a lot of insurance. That's a lot of workers' comp, benefits, salaries that are going out there, and taxes that are going to the state that we would lose.
Right. They don't care. Hey, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we got a whole lot more on our last 15-minute segment right here at Gun Sports Radio right here on AM 1170. The Answer. Radio right here on AM 1170. We are the answer. This segment is brought to you by Trident Gunsmithing. TridentGunsmithing.com. TridentGunsmithing.com. If you're looking for quality gunsmithing, or maybe you're looking for a hunting class, maybe you want to break your young kids into hunting, well, then go to TridentGunsmithing.com. They do a phenomenal job when it comes to training. Just go to TridentGunsmithing.com. TridentGunsmithing.com. All right, kids. So, hey, Mike, you had a pretty good, enrollment fundraiser?
It was. So we had a big membership drive for the 3 months of summer, and then we had a big, end of the summer bash at the Coronado Brewing in Bay Park. We had over 70 people show up, but more important, we signed up 11 members just that night.
That's phenomenal.
Which is very cool. But that whole drive resulted in 115 members that would not be members otherwise, so these weren't people that just kind of came through the normal course of what we were doing. These are people that our members went out and said, hey, I'm gonna sign people up because they care about San Diego County gun owners, but also they got entered into a contest to win a Mossberg 590 Tactical, and one of our 10-ring club members, Kristen, we picked her name out of the hat. She was actually there that night too, which was very cool.
Oh, good.
We had 115 names, or 115 entries. Some people were entered more than once if they signed up more than one member. And Kristen said, all right, well, this was fun. We're going to take off. Thanks. And I said, well, wait. We're about to pick a winner, so hang out for just a minute. And she was just, when we picked the name out of that, she just happened to be the one that was, that won.
That's fun.
So it was very cool. So she won an additional 10-ring club membership for a year. She won the Mossberg 590 Tactical, and she actually is giving away her 10-ring club membership to a friend of hers. So, it was a great night. A lot of people showed up. Like I said, we had over 75 people, and it was just a really great way to meet other people who care about guns, to come and introduce your friends to San Diego County gun owners and
find out those gun people aren't as mean and nasty as everybody thinks. They don't bite.
They don't bite, yeah, and just show that, hey, there are other people like you out there, and we're doing something. So it was a lot of fun.
So can you remember when your next meeting is?
Well, so we're going to have, we have the next event is we're going to have a number, our monthly meetings in North, South, and Central, and it's on our website. Up in North, it's RDL Tactical, and then South, we're at the 7 Mile Casino,
which make that one.
That's brand new, isn't it?
Down in Chula Vista,
about 2 years old.
Yeah, it seems pretty new, but they do a really great job. They treat us well. There aren't a lot of gun shops in San Diego, or I'm sorry, in South County.
Yeah.
So we've kind of been struggling to find we like to move the meetings around a lot so we can show people off, the different ranges and stuff like that. But so anyway, they've been doing really well for us. And then the central meeting is Gunfighter Tactical, and that's on the 19th. And then RDL is up in Escondido on the 20th, and then the 7 Mile Casino in Chula Vista is on the 21st.
Yeah. And Gunfighter is, I could probably throw a ball from here right across the 805 and hit it. I mean, it's pretty close.
Yep, they're right there on Miramar.
Right.
So and I'll tell you the most important. Come and meet people, have fun, grab a slice of pizza, ask questions, but most important, grab that friend or that shooting buddy or that, employee or colleague or whatever. Grab that person that you think, hey, man, this guy's got to get involved or this girl's got to get involved, and bring them to these meetings and introduce them to other people. And, so you don't have to do the sales pitch. Right. Just let them know, hey, I'm passionate. Now come to this meeting with me.
Yeah, well, and we all have that friend, because we're all, in this world of, Second Amendment and firearms. And we all have that friend who is angry about their rights being taken away. And so bring that friend. And I got to tell you, for me, it's reassuring to know that I'm part of a group that is like-minded and I'm not in this by myself. And it's there, being part of San Diego County gun owners, it gives me a light at the end of the tunnel. Like, all these people say, oh, screw these laws. I'm moving to Texas. Yeah. And I love when you give them the rebuttal. Well, why are you being a quitter? Stay and fight. And if you don't like it, change.
That's right.
Change it. And that's
stay and change.
Yeah, stay and change.
If you just want to play with your toys, then all right, move to Texas. But if the Second Amendment really means something to you, like it does to all of us,
and your families,
that's whatever.
And it really makes me see that light in the tunnel, knowing that something's going to change.
And there is a light. I have a meeting, myself and another board member, Leo, are meeting with Sheriff Gore's staff to talk about his CCW policies. This is our second meeting. That's coming up this week. Yeah. And just last week, Lance put together a meeting with San Diego City Council member Barbara Bree.
Yep, District 1. Yeah, that all came from when you told me about her changing her vote when she voted for yes for the proclamation, and then she signed it.
Right.
She signed it, and then a while later she changed her vote. And for all of us, I just picked up the phone, and I have never met any of them, and I called her chief of staff, and I left a message and saying, what's going on with this? And it was a couple of weeks. I actually got a phone call back from Barbara Bree, and I got to hand it to her. That was really nice, and I thanked her for that call, and we talked about it. And she told me at the time why. And I said, well, I'd like to have you on the radio if you don't mind. We could talk about it with Mike because we have some questions about that. And she declined the radio interview, but she said that she would come to my office, and we booked that and a while back. And then she came with her policy person, and we had a discussion for about an hour.
Is she going to come on radio?
No.
And this is a person. Now, I got to tell you, this is a person. If you look at her website, she talks to people like the Brady Organization, etc. This is someone that's getting all their information from one side,
drinking the Kool-Aid from the other side too much.
We were the other side, saying, "Hey, wait. Let's show you some facts and talk about some important issues here." And some of the things really resonated with her.
That's what we have to do.
That's what we have to do. The other side's doing it all day long.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it's easy to listen to the anti. Just like
Oh, sure.
Well, they form their opinion, and then they drink the Kool-Aid, and then they think that that's pretty much it, because then they just give the mantra. But then, when you present them with the facts, and then they start to realize, wait a minute, maybe what they're being told isn't exactly correct. And so she was saying that she would like to come to one of your meetings, Michael.
She never wants to learn more. Now, I'm not going to. We didn't turn her into Charlton Heston with one meeting. That's an unrealistic
Absolutely
expectation.
Not. No.
But what really resonated with her is what we were talking about last segment. What we were talking about last segment with the pistol roster. How that is turning into a de facto ban. Yeah. And she that was a concern. That was a real concern of hers, and we're educating her, sending her real facts, and saying, hey, look, they're making it look like they're just trying to provide safe products for people. That's not what they're doing. They're banning handguns.
Mm-hmm. So it's an eye opener, and for elected officials, and for all of us to be able to get a hold of them, and that's why Michael's organization supporting. There's the elections coming up. Next year, and who he's gonna, who they're going to endorse. But for all of us, picking up the phone and calling our local person and telling them, it really does make a difference.
Absolutely.
It really does. Yeah. Everybody should pick up the phone and make a phone call.
Especially now, because they're all on edge.
It's easy to do.
All your politicians are on edge, and they all want to stay where they're at. So the only way they're going to do it is they have to show that they're involved.
Well, the mayor of Coronado, when we had him on, and we asked him, what's a big showing at a town meeting? And when he said Richard 3, I about fell out of my doggone chair. So if 3 is a big number for a town meeting, imagine what a personal phone call or visit to your representative, how big of an impact that can make in your area.
Yeah.
They go, hello, who are you?
Exactly, yeah.
And then you're a voter? Oh, my God.
And touching base on our representatives, now Santee did a big deal, made their deal. Yep. What's the next? What's our next target?
We're talking to a number of different cities. We're talking to the city of Vista. We're talking to the city of Escondido, La Mesa, El Cajon.
Vista, what's our girl up there? No, what's her name?
Amanda Rigby.
Oh, Amanda. I love her.
We love Amanda.
Rigby.
We love Amanda.
She's the best.
She is absolutely the best. So we're talking to a number of different cities, San Marcos and but more importantly, I should say more important. Well, more importantly, that led to meetings with Gore's staff. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm pretty sure that the policy that he has for CCWs is going to start to go the way we want it to. Not necessarily all the way, but we're getting there.
All right, folks. I tell you, stay tuned. Gun Sports Radio will keep you definitely in the loop. If you have an email for us, www.info@gunsportsradio.com. We'd be more than happy to chat with you, or go visit our website at gunsportsradio.com. And don't forget to go see all our sponsors, Gun Range San Diego, Triton Gunsmithing, and John Dillon, right here on AM 1170. The Answer.
Gun Sports Radio is sponsored by Love Radio Network.